Like a reflection map, a transparency map is also an image that you apply to the surface of your object. The difference is that you can dictate what areas are going to be transparent based on the color. Let me quickly show you some maps that I created. And this is what it looks like. It's just white with a black stripe with some white stars. I also have one that just has lines. You'll find these in the work files folder, all these guys here. So I'm going to show you what these do, and then we'll create one from scratch in Photoshop. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab these nodes from the reflection lesson and just get rid of them. Goodbye. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our preview, and I'm going to go to the transparency channel here and click on the input, add a new node, 2D texture, image map, and I'm going to go to where it says image source, none, and then browse for the one that says stripes. I mean, you're really going to like this a lot. The way this works is wherever there is black, Poser will not render it. It will be transparent. And wherever there's white, there will be the actual object. So let's go ahead and try this one first and click OK. Then I'll go ahead and make sure it's plugged in, and it is. Let's go ahead and quickly do a render. And fingers are crossed, but nothing happened. So what gives with that? Why did we get nothing? Well, that's because there is no value here. Now this is the difference. You see that we have some of these guys with a swatch and some of these guys that have a value. Well, transparency, unlike specular, where it says 1, and diffuse, where it says 1, and these guys that have numbers are all set to 0. So we have to tell this to do something with this image. So I'm going to put this on 1. And now we can see that the transparency map has been applied. Let's do another render. Ah, how cool is that, my friends? Now we can see through the image. Once again, where there is black, we have see-through or transparency, and where there is white, we have the ability to see the object itself. So it's opaque and transparent. Now I'm going to go to Photoshop and just show you how to quickly create one. I'm going to create a 600 by 600 new document, and I'm going to have the background content as white, and click OK. I'll hit F to center everything, and I'm going to grab my marquee tool here, and let's drag out a stripe like so. And I'm going to simply fill it in with black. I'm going to edit, fill, foreground color, OK. Now what you could do as well, if you want to get fancy, I'll go ahead and press Command or Control D to deselect that. Grab your brush, get a pretty large size there, and just paint a couple of patterns on it. Just something like this. Doesn't really matter. It could be a complete disaster. I'll go and save this on my desktop. Save. I'll call it dots. And I'll save it as a JPEG. And I'll say OK to everything else. Let's go to Poser and load that in where it says stripes. So where it says image source stripes, click on stripes so we can change the image. So dots is going to replace stripes. Hit OK. And now we have our updated image. I'll go ahead and do a render on that again. And now we have these dots that weren't completely invisible. You'll notice a difference here. Gray can also give you some transparency. So white will completely make your object visible, black will make it invisible, and shades of gray will give you a little transparency or opacity. So that is how you can use a transparency map to create some very interesting results.